don't see them, right? That's only an adult, someone who's, someone a little bit older can actually see that. But a young child will never be able to understand that. Even if you told him that this, choose that one over this for this reason, they can't see. And they say, forget it. I just can see the one sweet, just give that to me. Now the same applies. The same applies when you're a 10-year-old. Okay? A 10-year-old, you think about it. What would they choose to have? If you gave them, the choice of, getting something that only a 20-year-old would understand, but a 10-year-old won't understand. Because, like for example, if you said to the 10-year-old, because they're not at that age, okay? They're not at that age. If you said to them that they would be able to get a certain person to be with them in a life and be together, they don't understand any of that. For them, they're like, what do you mean? But for a 20-year-old, relationships actually mean something. If you talk to a 10-year-old, you talk to an 8-year-old, they might laugh it off, they might, whatever. For them, it doesn't mean anything. Now, when it comes to teenagers and they come to their relationship, now what's happening here? I want you youngsters to understand. Allah Azza wa Jalla has put a system inside us. That system, there are certain times when certain elements of you, they get switched on. They get switched on, and then Allah turns it up. So for example, if you told a 1.5-year-old kid to enjoy a full, chicken and chips meal, yeah? A 1.5-year-old can't enjoy a chicken and chips meal. But when you give a chicken and chips meal to a 7-year-old or 10-year-old, they can fully enjoy it. Now the appetite for those kind of things grows. As you grow older, your appetite for certain foods is going to grow. But then it also goes down after a while. So if you told, for example, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old to really enjoy chicken and chips meal, they're not going to enjoy it, my friend. For them, there's another world here. There's a whole cholesterol world they have to think about. Are you with me, guys? Cholesterol is, they're going to be thinking about their system, what's going to happen to them tomorrow. Because they need to have healthy foods. They're at that age when they have these fried foods, when they have all of these, foods that are not that healthy. For them, it means something else. Okay, they enjoyed it 20 years ago. Right now, they need to be a bit careful. Right? You give them loads of cakes, you give them loads of sweets. They can take a little bit, but when they go overboard, they know it's going to hit them, because then they're going to face, the realities of whatever's going to come towards them, right? So now the same thing applies to you here as a person. What are you going to do, and how are you going to look at life? When you're at, let's say, 16, 17, okay, and you're basically coming to your own relationships. When you come to those relationships, you're going to look at a certain way. When you become someone who's 20, 25, 30, something inside you, Allah has switched on, and it's going to increase. But then after a while, it's going to start to decrease. Let's look at the whole system, whole thing. When you start to become a teenager, and you first become a teenager at the age of 13 or something, where Allah's now turned on your hormones. Okay? It's natural. Why? Because Allah has made the humans such that He will make them want each other for reproduction. Allah wants the human race to continue. Allah wants many, many children of Banu Adam, of Adam a.s. to grow. Without that, the human race will die. So He put a system inside us. You get to 12, 13, something is switched inside you. The boy now wants the girl now wants the boy. As they move along the ages, when they get to 17, 18, 19, 20, that thing's going to increase and increase more. There's going to get a time when they're going to be crazy for each other. Now, it all differs in different people. Some people will get crazy at the time of 16, some will get crazy at 20, some will get crazy at 25. There's no such handbook to tell you who's going to reach that crazy stage at what age. Now, that's going to happen. When you carry on, okay, going through the stage, you really want to be with the opposite gender. You really want to be with them. You want to have your relationship with them. And Allah's given us that system that yes, we want to latch on to one another. However, by the time you've hit your 40, you've hit your 45, 50, that thing's going to be turned down. Trust me, it's going to turn out. You're young and you say, nah, I'm still going to be going. You're not, bruv. You're not going to be going. You can't physically be going. You're not like the man who's looking at chicken and chips and looking at cake and saying, nah, I'll take a little bit, but not too much, yeah? By the time you're 45, 50, right, you're going to be lucky if you're going to be the same when you were 20. You're going to be lucky. You're going to be very lucky. By the time you get to 60, yeah, forget anything else, you're probably going to be ending up with a walking stick. All right, just keep yourself, standing. All right, make yourself just about walk nicely. Forget perform. You're going to be walking nicely. If you know what I'm trying to say, yeah. So, guys, understand this is going to hit you as well. There's almost like a peak. All right. Now, in that peak, what you've got to understand is Allah put that system inside us because He wants the human race to continue to grow. Then Allah gave us a system. He gave us a sharia. He gave us something called nikah. Right? So if you want to get together with the opposite gender, there's a system in Islam and it's called nikah. Now what is nikah and why is it so important? Because nowadays, youngsters are like, and I know in your schools, you're actually taught this stuff. Right? In your schools, you're encouraged to go and do what you can as long as it's all through consent. Alright? So you agree, and she agrees, and all is good, and you can go on and you can do whatever you want. In your schools, they tell you this. Doesn't matter. For them, nikah is no such thing. In fact, the new culture that we've entered is nikah is a burden. Marriage is a burden. But it's not a burden. You've got to understand why did Allah put the system of nikah. I want you to understand that. Because the new generation is like, just get together, just have fun. Have fun. Get together, have a relationship, and there's all these ways that people are doing it today. Like there's apps, available apps. People are downloading them, and then what you do is you put your location, or you put your radius, yeah, how many miles apart, because you don't want to be too close to your dad's house, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might get caught somewhere. So you might put it to a nearby city, and then, they swipe this way, you swipe that way, or you click and you put your things there, and then it's like, you want to meet up for a coffee. And it's an innocent coffee, you just want to meet up with a coffee. Or it might be someone at your college, it might be someone at your uni, it might be someone at your school or something, and then you have feelings and so on. And the thing is, look, what you've got to understand is, Allah Azza wa Jal has now given us a pathway of halal and a pathway of haram. Now this is Allah, my creator, your creator doing this. I never made the rules up. No Maulana, no Shaykh, no Imam made these rules up. If you don't like the rules, you're going to have to face Him on the Day of Judgment. He's made the rules. It's His law, His rules. He created me and you. He put my hormones in me. He put the hormones in her. He turned the hormones up in her and up in me. And then He said, you've got halal, you've got haram. The halal is, you go through nikah. What does that mean? Now I want all of you to understand what nikah is. It's the best thing for the man and for the woman. Because in this situation, the one who is vulnerable is the woman. You can go and slice the cake as you want, but the vulnerable person is the woman. You can talk about equality till the Day of Judgment happens, but the vulnerability is with the woman. Why? Because she's the only one who's going to bear the child, not the man. The one who bears the child is who? Who's the vulnerable one? Are you guys scared or something? There might be a riot in, oh my God, equality and all that. Listen, I don't care how you slice that equality thing, all right? The one who bears the child is the woman. And because she bears the child predominantly, is within her first, then is with her. Now we know Okay, you can talk about all this equality. Okay, they can basically agree to look after this child without having marriage and so on. They can agree to all of that. But the reality is, okay, most men, okay, will not share the responsibility of the children unless they have to. This is reality. You don't get, every other man saying, like, fine, we live together, no marriage, no responsibility, no nothing, and we get together, we have children. I'll take full responsibility. And that man's going to stick to his words. You're going to find, illa mashallah, only a few men in the world who's going to do that. Otherwise, men need to be given, by law, a responsibility to look after those children. And look after whatever comes that way. And that's what nikah is about. Nikah is protection. Nikah is protecting not only the woman, but protecting the man as well. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal hasn't made us in a way that we can sleep with as many people as you want and nothing's going to happen. The world knows. The world might lie about it. The world knows. You end up sleeping with several people, there's going to be illnesses that are going to spread amongst you. We know this. It's on record. It's scientifically proven. People go for these tests in hospitals. What do they call them? The STIs. What do they call them? The STD. STD sort of, Why? Because, you sleep with so many people, you're going to end up with these illnesses that you don't want. Your own body is going to deteriorate because of doing this. Allah never made a system for us to, do whatever you want. There's no such thing. So Allah wants you to have only a few, if that, relationships or a single relationship. If you're going to have one, then have it within halal means, but just a few relationships. Now, in that, Allah Azza wa Jalla is protecting the woman. Why? What happens is this, look. Before you get together, let's just talk about relationships, because young people want to get into relationships. They're like, I just want to have, let's just have fun. Okay, let's just enjoy each other, enjoy each other's time. And what you don't understand is there's a lot in there. It's not just about the child. Okay, it's not. Let's just say they said together, we're going to get together, but we're not going to have any children. What about the emotions? What happens to a person when they've invested emotion together and one person wants to just break up, one person wants to get out? Have you ever seen a teenager go through emotions when their relationship has broken up? Has anyone seen that? Anyone experienced any of that in your community? Anyone? Yes or no, guys? Yes. Yes? What happens to them? They are blinded first. They go through their emotional roller coaster. Women take a knife out and they start to cut themselves. True or not, guys? True. They do that. They cause self-harm. Why? Because it's so much. When the emotions are high, you get together and there's no law to make you stay and stick together. That you had an argument and one of them wants to pull away. What happens? You go through absolute mayhem of your life. Your life is done over. That's why Allah said, look, there's a nikah. Why? Because nikah prevents all of this. It puts responsibility. It puts you together and says, okay, if tomorrow there's an argument, if tomorrow one of you doesn't want to be here, no, you have to be here. Nikah is when you make an intention, I'm going to be with this person until the end of my life. That's nikah. I want the youngsters and the young generation, even the mid-age people, to understand this. My father, a lot of you who are in your 40s or maybe in your 50s, we know our dads, our mothers, when they got married, they knew they can do anything. They can argue till the cows come home. But there's going to be no such thing as divorce. Yes or no, guys? Come on. Yes. And today it's like something little happens. Oh, divorce. Oh, khula, divorce. Oh, khula, divorce. What's wrong with you guys? Are you living the life of Disney? Are you living some kind of a Hollywood film, some kind of Bollywood romantic film where it's all about if things work out, when they work out, it's all hunky-dory. When things don't work out, then let's break up, let's move on, let's go. What's this such thing? Nikah is not that. Nikah is you say, okay, if I get into this, I get into this full. That woman is my responsibility all the way to death departs us. The woman also says, that man, I'm going to be with him, stay with him, thick and thin, till death departs us. That's nikah. That's what Allah wanted us to do. If you ever get into a relationship where you say, you know what, let's do a nikah, but we check it out, innit? Check it out. It's like IKEA. If you bring the IKEA furniture home, yeah, you build it all up, you look at it, nah, you take it all the way down, take it back to IKEA, go to customer services, to returns, and you say, we don't want it. Can I have a refund, please? What in the world is what? You're going to just go for a quick refund on a human being after you know, what is, there's no such thing. Make a serious thing. Now look, what happens with most relationships that are not with nikah is you're facing all of these damages. You're facing the possibility of a child coming into the world where one of them or both of them will not want the child. They're going to go for abortion. They're going to want to get rid of the child. A child that did no crime, you're just going to throw it away. That child is going to come up on the Day of Judgment. That fetus that was going to become a human being will come up on the Day of Judgment and is going to say to Allah, Allah, what was my fault that these two individuals had to abort me for the sake of their own pleasure? They did what they wanted, but they got rid of me. And what are you going to do? There's a child there that's putting a court case against you in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment. Which way are you going to go? What are you going to do? It's not about people just having fun. It's a serious future God. Allah's giving you halal, Allah's giving you haram pathway. Which one are you going to choose? It's also about that, what I said to you, these relationships, what they have. They have relationships. What do? They get together. They'll get together for months. They'll get together for years. And they get so close to one another. Okay? Now, what do they say? Well, they say to each other, you know what, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you, but I don't know how to say goodbye to you because I'm so attached to you. Because my daddy and my mummy have fixed together that I've got to go to Bangladesh and I've got to marry my cousin. Or I've got to marry some person that is literally in my area. Because we're from Bishnat, and they've said that she's got to be from Bishnat. But you're not from Bishnat, are you? You're from another country. Like you and me are like never going to get together because of that. Now, why on earth have you gone that far? Because then a lot of other problems come across. Now, since I want you guys to think, what is it that you're getting into? Because then you come to imams like us and you say that, oh, isn't it halal? Oh, can I not do it this time? Whoa, listen. We imams are going to go, whoa, hang on a minute. Why don't you come and talk to us before you got into the relationship? Like, seriously. You get into the relationship, you have the relationship, you're together, and then you come to the imam, and the imam's now got to go and talk to your uncle and to your dad and convince all of them for you to. I'm not against, look, if there's any Muslim woman out there, fine, but I can't do the thing of getting into your family household and tell them what to do because people have their preferences. Now you're going to say to me, well, is it wrong for me to have, a person from another country, another part of this, that? Look, I've got nothing to do with that. It's your preference of you and your family. Now, you can go ahead and you can go and get married to that woman, but then your family might boycott you. Are you ready for that? Because that's another thing that's going to happen. You're going to say, well, it's not fair. Well, I'm going to say to you, listen, life is not a fairy tale. Life is not a fairy. In every fairy tale, I don't know why they read these fairy tales when you're young. Every time you read a fairy tale, you come at the end and the last phrase is, and they live happily ever after. Oh. And they live happily ever after is there one human being that ever lived happily ever after? No. Not in this world. You can live happily ever after in Jannah. Inshallah, some of your eyes lit, man. You're like, who it is? Lit up. Yes, you can live happily ever after in Jannah, but in this world, there's no such thing as living happily ever after. There's always going to be something that you're going to deal with. And you want to get into this relationship, there's going to be a big price to pay. Not only in this dunya, well, definitely in the akhirah, but there's going to be something in this dunya as well that might hit you. Now you better take your calculations. Because when those things happen, what are you supposed to do? I'll tell you one thing, look. You can get married to different cultures, that's fine. But then you've got to have a way of being able to live together. The main thing is, are you two going to live together until death departs you? That's the main thing. That is the main question. You don't want anything to come in between that suddenly, breaks you apart. And then you have all these emotions attached and you go through an emotional roller coaster and you're neither here, you're neither there. Now, these youngsters, one of the things for them is that quickly go find someone, chat to them, talk to them, or all I'm doing is just talking to them. All I'm doing is talking to them. I'm never going to touch her. And she says, I'm never going to touch him. It's all about what? We just talking, we're just chatting. Well, that's the first mistake you make. Because the thing is, when you chat, before that you've made one mistake, and the first one is the eyes. When you look at the other gender with your eyes, and your eyes have fallen onto someone where your emotions start to boil up, then you straight away fallen into a trap. Because that trap's going to take you one after the other to the next one. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spoke about that. He said the eyes fornicate. And he said, Al-aynani zinahuma an-nadar. He said the fornication of the eyes is to look. Allah Azza wa Jalla told us in the Sharia, He told us in the Quran, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. He said, tell the believing men to lower their gaze, to not look unnecessarily. وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. And therefore, straight after that, look, if you control your eyes, يَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ, you'll be able to control that which is between your thighs. You'll be able to control all that. Straight to the women, straight after that, Allah says, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ. Tell them to lower their gaze. It's not just for men, it's for women as well. وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ. And Allah said they will be able to protect their private parts as well. Now that's the first thing. If you can control it from here, you've controlled a lot. But if you haven't controlled it from here, then the next thing is what? You want to talk to them. وَاللِّسَانُ زِنَاهُ الْكَلَامِ. Sahih Hadith of Muslim. That the fornication of the tongue wants to talk lustfully. The fornication of the ears, the Prophet ﷺ says, is to one listen. Al-istima', it wants to listen. Because in that listening of the other person, you are getting enjoyment. When you're talking, you're getting enjoyment. When you're looking, you're getting enjoyment. When all of these three things are working, you're talking with your tongue, you're looking with your eyes, you're listening with your ears, all of that three together, for you and for her, you're both getting enjoyment. And shaytan, if you look in the Quran, what did Allah say about the shaytan? The shaytan will never take you straight to his end game. The shaytan always works with khutuwat. It's called step by step, small steps he works with. So step number one is for the shaitan to make me and you look unnecessarily. Step number two is, when a person's seen someone, step number two is, I need to now get their number. That's the next bullet. Or I need to kind of looking at them. I need to go into their zone. I need to go in front of them. Sister, are you okay, sister? Do you need any help, sister? Always starts off with sister, mashallah, brothers come to give da'wah. Yeah? He's come as a big da'i, mashallah. He's looking after all the sisters. He's coming as the man who's going to make sure all the sisters are protected under the permission of Allah. Allahu Akbar. But inside him is like, sister, please say yes to me. Sister, give me your number. That's inside him, but he's not going to do that straight away. Like, sister, if you need help, sister, are you okay? Sister, if you need it, just let me know. And his eyes are, yeah, you let me know, sister there. Yeah, let me know, sister, let me know, sister. In the college, in the university. He's looking that way, he's showing his taqwa. Oh, mashallah, brothers all really, geared up to look after the sister. And he carries on doing that, until one day somehow, it's more than, sister, are you okay? And it's more than her saying, yes, I'm okay, brother. She's waiting for that chance. She's going to get another target from the shaytan. Shaytan's working on her, shaytan's working on him. So again, he says, sister, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay, brother. Are you okay, brother? Oh, doors open now. Just one little phrase somewhere or something extra. Or she doesn't give anything, back to say, she doesn't, find it true. Now look, what did Allah say in the Quran? Allah says, وَلَا تَخْضَعْنَا. Allah said to the wives of the Prophet ﷺ that when you reply, don't reply in your natural, gentle, sweet voice. Women, Allah's made them in such a way that when they talk normally, they've got natural, sweet voices. Yes or no, guys? Ya Allah, yes. Give us an example. What do your wives talk to like? Malik, my husband, come over here. Guys, do they have sweet voices or not? Yes. Right. Today I don't think you do. You guys understand what I'm trying to say, man. Well, some of you are like, nah, you gotta get Belani Khayami. I just get beaten up when I go home. They have natural. Now, when the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, they will speak back. Allah Azza wa Jal said, He said, La takhda'na. Allah says, don't at that time lower your voice. Why? Because if you talk in your natural sweet voice, the other person, not that you've got any bad intention, but the other person might hear from or might think that you're playing along. You're giving a little hint. And that's the danger. Because I tell you, with a problem with men is, men, for them is straight away, they want it all physical. Women think all emotional. Women are not interested straight away in the physiques of a man. Most women are not. The women who are, they don't really know what's going on in life much. Alright? But most women, they really like to see who the guy is on the inside. Most men, they don't think about what's on the inside of the woman. They think about the outside of the woman. And that's a big mistake men make. Because I say, it's not just about the lips that she's got, but it's how the tongue behind the lips are going to treat you, my brother. You guys understand, yes or no? Only the adult men said yes. The youngsters are like, no, Shaykh. Yeah, lips are really interesting. Yeah, you need that to be something that's to top notch. Now the thing is, look, when he's made that thing about sister, are you okay? She said, yes, are you okay? But that's it. Okay, sister, if you need anything, yeah. But I say, okay, brother, what about okay, this is, and then one thing, another thing. Then either he's offered his number or she's offered her number, or somehow they've got it, and that's it. Now the kalam, now the hearing, now the seeing every day is continuing. And then the next thing that's going to happen is, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he said, rijlan. He said the legs. Zina huma. He said their zina, their fornication is to walk towards the person. Eventually that's going to happen. Shaitan's got it in his plan. That's the next step. Next step is al-yadan. Wal-yadan zinahuma al-batsh. The hands, they will want to actually touch. Even if the person says, no, I'm not going to do any of that, but that's coming along. That's part of the shaitan's plan. It's going to come along. And then the Prophet ﷺ says that the last thing is whether the heart's actually going to accept or reject the fact that they're going to commit the actual fornication. And all of that is planned from where? From the sight, from looking. If men, boys, and women and girls, they can control their sight at first, then you stop all of shaitan's plan. And the only way to really go for the proper thing is to do nikah. Now, my friends, when you're young, all of these hormones are bouncing up and down inside you. They're making you go crazy. And I understand that you want to be with the other person. if you choose the halal, you will be given, subhanallah, a wonderful thing on the day of judgment, a wonderful prize. This is the choice that you've got. The prize for halal is, you had a woman who she was a beautiful woman, a beautiful girl. She was someone who's very attractive to you. She was someone from a good, status. She wasn't one of these women that were, here and there. So no, she was one of those that she's giving you her attention. Okay? And she says to you, come along. Let's go and let's do it. Or the opposite thing. Let's say, for example, a man, good looking man. He's asked the sister. He said, come on, let's do it. There's no nikah involved here. They're saying, let's go ahead. And the other person says, Inni akhafullah. I can't go ahead and I can't do this because I fear Allah Azza wa Jal. The other person says that. And they mean it. And they want to end the relationship. If any of you youngsters are in a relationship, or you're in a situation where you're tempted for that relationship, and you give it up for the sake of Allah, then on the day of judgment, when the whole of the day of judgment will be full of a sea of people, an ocean, a gigantic, enormous ocean where you cannot see the last man. There's going to be men and women and children and animals and everything. You can't see the end of this. And the sun is going to be 1 mile above people's heads. And the only shade, like your own body doesn't have a shadow. The only shade is going to be the shade of Allah's throne on that day. Under that throne, there's going to be the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. There's going to be the truthful people, the Siddiqeen. There's going to be the Shuhada, the martyrs. There's going to be the Salihun, the pious people. And a number of other people Allah's going to put under there. If you're a man or you're a woman who gave up a haram relationship and a haram invitation for the sake of Allah, you gave it up, then Allah is going to call you on the day of judgment and invite you, a special invitation where you come under that shade of Allah's throne. Not only that, you come under that shade, you see Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, you see all the prophets. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has Kawthar in his hands, and he will offer you the drink of Kawthar for you to drink. When you drink that, you can never be thirsty ever again. You'll be in and amongst the celebrities of the Day of Judgment, the Anbiya, the Sahaba, the best of people, the people who kept Allah happy, and Allah's going to keep them happy on the Day of Judgment, and He's going to put them into Jannah. You're going to be amongst those people. You got no worries on this day. This is your prize on this day for giving up that relationship. The haram pathway, if you carry on doing what you're doing, and you go down that pathway, and temptation and lust takes over. Now I'm going to tell you guys, look, before I go ahead, I want to tell you this. Lust and temptation is something a bit like going, downhill. Okay? So if you've got a bike, all right, you're at one of these streets that has got a steep, sort of hill that goes all the way down. The road is such that it just goes down. If you're at the top, all right, if you're at the top of the hill, you're on a bike, and you basically just let go of the brakes. So you're sitting down, you're not pedaling. What's going to happen to the bike? What's going to happen? It's going to start going down. As it goes down, is it going to decrease in speed or increase in speed? Increase. This is exactly the same as lust and temptation. You've got to be very careful here. Because lust and temptation doesn't decrease. If you look at the other person, you've made contact with the other person, look, you already increased, you got the bike now, you let go of the brakes, now it's moving down. You start talking to the other person, it's moving more. You better put your brakes on, my friend. You better put your brakes on, stop there, because if you don't, your speed is going to increase. And your temptation towards the other person is going to get stronger and stronger as you move along, right? Because now you're speaking, now you're talking, now every day there's text messages going on, right? Every day there's kind of, conversation, and you can't even live your life. There's young guys who fail their exams because of a relationship. Some of you are smiling at me thinking, yeah, I was there. There's young people who muck up, they can't see anything. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, حُبُّكَ الشَّيْء قَدْ يُعْمِيكَ. Or كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Your love for something can make you blind. You guys get that? Yes or no? You don't understand. You know your love for PS5 can make you like, I don't want to do anything else except for play FIFA and Fortnite all day. It can make you blind. Your love for something, your temptation for something can make you go crazy. It gets into an addiction. Like those guys who get into drugs, it's the same thing. They start from puffing some e-cigarette or something, go into an actual cigarette, get into some kind of weed, get something like, a bit higher, slowly, cocaine, whatever, speed all the way down. The same thing doesn't give them a buzz anymore. So they end up with cocaine and end up with heroin after that. And now they're seriously addicted. By the time you get to the bottom, oh my God, you're going for a crash. So the same thing happens with temptation, with relationships. If you don't stop it, you're going to hit hard. Because you're going to be going full speed ahead. And you spoke like some of these guys, they can't think straight. I remember, look, I'll give you a story, right? So this guy comes along, this local musalli comes along to me. And somebody switch your phone off, please, thank you. So this local musalli comes along. And he says to me, please speak to my brother. He's got into a relationship, but this sister that he's got a relationship with, she's not wearing the hijab. And we as a family, we don't want him to go ahead. And they're really close in it. And you can't knock any sense in them. You talk to them, that guy, look what he's doing. You come from a practicing family. Your family's doing salah all the time. You're doing, salah all the time. You're doing 5 days prayer. This sister, she doesn't even pray. She doesn't have hijab. She doesn't have nothing. But you know what? What? The intention. I'm going to make her pray. I'm going to be Ertugul and make her pray. Ertugul, my little thing. Yeah. You're going to make her pray. I tell you one thing straight up, boys. And girls, if you ever get into any of these things where you think that I'm going to make the sister becoming practicing after the nikah, forget it. Game over. Because what happens is, up to the nikah, you say, Sister, are you going to wear the hijab later on? Of course I will, my darling. Inshallah, sister says she's going to wear the hijab later on. Please, everybody accept it. Fine. You get married. 1 year, you try and you say, sister, please wear the hijab. Say, I'll wear it, but in my own time. That's what she's going to say. She's going to say what? I'll wear it, but I'll wear it what? In my own time. Another year later, he's saying, sister, come on, my wife, come on, wife, wear the hijab, come on, you got to do it, Allah said this, Allah said that, you got to do it, no. She said, wait, hang on a minute, I'll do it in my own time. I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll pray when I'm ready. That's what they say to you. So then on the third day, you're on it. Now you're getting frustrated. Why on earth are you getting frustrated? Shall I tell you why? Shall I tell you why? Anyone worked it out? Why are you getting frustrated by the second, third year? Anyone worked that out? Tell me, anyone? Anyone? Because you've got children coming along the way. Now you basically walk around. Remember I told you at the beginning of this ban. Every stage of life when you go, life looks different. Life looks different. As you move along, life looks different. So now you're getting frustrated for what? Because you've got children coming along. This guy, he said to me, talk to my brother. So I sat his brother down. I sat the girl down. I said, you serious to want to get married? He said, I'm serious. Yeah, I said, yes. I said, but you realize, what you're getting into. And you get blind. You can't think. Once your emotions are high, you can't think straight. So he's like, yeah, I'm happy. She's happy. We just want to go ahead and get the nikah done. I said, okay, one question. I said, imagine Allah blesses you with a daughter. You get the nikah done. Allah blesses you with a daughter. The daughter grows up. She becomes 9 years old. 9-year-old daughter. She's about to hit 10, 11, 12. She's about to hit that age now when she's going to grow and, her woman body is going to grow as well. She's about to get to that age. But she's looking at her mom. Her mom's not wearing hijab. For her, it's normal not to wear hijab. I said, brother, tell me this. Would you want your daughter to wear hijab? He said, yes. I said, okay. I turned around to the girl. I said, would you want your daughter to wear hijab? She said, no. Ooh. Got some beef going on here, bro. Beef. Then they start arguing in front of me. I said, oh, he said, Hamu, he said. That's it. Now I got to the bottom of it. Simple question. Put them in a scenario because they're not thinking. They're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking 10 years later. Don't get into a relationship where you're going to regret it 10 years later. You're going to be fighting and you want to get out of the marriage. And he said, well, I discussed this with you, that you're going to become more practicing as we go along. Yeah. She goes, well, yeah, but I didn't mean like that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't break it up, you don't understand what you're getting into. Look, that girl you got married to with that hijab, she's telling you the 4th year, 5th year, I'll do it in my own time. And then one day she turns around to you and says this. She says, when I got married to you, you accepted me without the hijab. And now you're forcing the hijab on me. That's not fair. You're forcing the hijab. Now it's become forcing the hijab on her. That's not fair. I tell you guys, look, you got to understand there's a life ahead. The life is you're not seeing the time when you have children. You're not seeing the time when your children grow up. Because life doesn't look the same. Like what does life look to young people right now? Young people right now is, I get her, she gets me, I have her, she has me, we live together, as the fairy tale says, happily ever after. There's no dream of children, there's no dream. Even if children pop up, they're going to be the most beautiful and the best children ever. I'm going to have a remote control, she's going to have a remote control. I will just put the children to sleep whenever we want. We'll press another button, it says happy smile. You press that, the kid goes, we press another button, eat, the kid goes, what did you give birth to? Some robot or something? You're going to have a kid, the kid's going to have his independent life, right? The kid's going to bring his own life into your lives. It's going to become a total different worldview you're going to see. And young people can't see this. Young people don't know what it is that I'm getting into. And life is this. And look, if you had a relationship right now without nikah, what's going to happen? When those kids come along, most men, they don't want to do anything with it. They want to run away. That's why Allah put nikah there for your protection, for your own good. Now, let me get back to that hadith about haram. I said, the haram pathway. If you go down the haram pathway, then what is your result? Like let's say you have no nikah, and you have relationships, and you're sleeping together, and shaytan's taking you down that hill, like I said to you, temptation, lust got to you, and now you're doing everything. Now, the next thing what you do is this. You keep, astaghfirullah, 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 tawbah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And then shaitan plays with you, my friend. Shaitan plays with you big time. Either he does this to you, and I know there are youngsters and young men who do this. They have a haram relationship, right? It's a bit like what you notice some of the Christians, the Protestants, what they do, right? Friday night, they have the life they want in a club, right? Friday night, okay? They have all that. Saturday, whatever they might enjoy. And then in the morning comes, they go to the priest. And the father, I have sinned. And the father, I don't know why the process is, he said, what have you done, my son? Why do you have to even ask that? What have you done, my son? You want to find out what he's done? Anyway, he says, Father, I did this on Friday night. Okay, son, you're blessed. I forgive you, you go. This guy, every week, goes back to the father, Father, I've sinned. And then they give some kind of donation to the church. And it's kind of, he's all right because the father keeps on, saying he's blessed and finished. Now, some Muslims have made almost the same thing in Islam. It's like you go out there, you do what you like with the opposite gender, then it's like, do istighfar and tawbah. So I say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, I'll come to the masjid, I'll come for Jum'ah, I'll be a good boy, I'll give a good donation to the masjid, I'll tell the Imam Sahib to make dua for me. Imam Sahib loves me, he doesn't just love you, right? The masjid loves you because of your donation, bro. I hope you understand that. Yeah? But anyway, okay, we love you, but the thing is, don't think that your donations is going to get you out of this. Don't think that the Imam, there's no such thing in Islam anyway of an Imam blessing you. There's no such thing, but you think that your own istighfar, your tawbah, every time you've gone down that line, you know, you have your tawbah. And then there's some other Muslims like, oh, if I have so much love for the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, he's going to intercede for people on the day of judgment, so therefore I'm going to be let off. And honestly, there are Muslims like this, who've invested their love in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, we all love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we know he's going to make intercession on the day of judgment. But are you banking on that to get yourself redeemed of your sin on the day of judgment? It's almost like, yeah, I'll do what I want, tawbah, astaghfirullah, sadaqah, 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 build a masjid here, give some money over there. Allah, please forgive me. Look, I love you. Allah, build you another house because there's people worshiping in there. You know, like, please forgive me, but let me just carry on doing what I want to do. Nothing's going to happen to you. Let me tell you one thing. Before you even get to the day of judgment, this is the haram part that I was going to talk to you about from the hadith. The hadith is a hadith of Bukhari. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he travels in a dream, and all the Prophet's dreams are truthful. They are of reality. None of the Prophet's dreams ever show them anything except reality. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he travels with Jibreel alayhi salam. He sees many things on this route. One of the things he sees is that he sees a whole big pot, a massive pot, huge pot. And that pot is burning, as in it's got fire inside it. It's not got fire underneath, it's got fire inside it. There are naked men, naked women, who are being tossed from within the pot, outside of the pot, high like flames that come up, and then those naked men and women fall back inside the pot, and they're screaming, and the fire is so intense, it throws them out of the pot high, and then they fall back straight into the pot. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam inquired to Jibreel alayhi salam, what is this that I'm seeing, O Jibreel? And Jibreel alayhi salam said, he said, these are the men and women of your ummah who commit zina, who commit adultery or fornication. This is their fate. Now my friend, this is Allah's law. This is not my law. You know when that's going to happen? That is adabul qabr. The ulama have said, all the dreams, in that particular dream that the Prophet ﷺ saw, this is the punishment of the grave. So which means that those people will feel and be in that punishment because they committed zina until whenever Allah lets them off, until the day of judgment. For 5 minutes of pleasure, for half an hour of pleasure, do you want to give yourself a lifetime and several lifetime worth of punishment? Anyone who's in a relationship that is haram right now, you have a choice. You say to yourself, either I do the thing that I said to you earlier, which is inni akhafullah, I fear Allah. If you do that, you will earn your place under the throne of Allah on the day of judgment. If you don't, you're faced with the other thing, and both of these ahadith are sahih. Both of these ahadith are sahih. One is in Sahih Muslim, the other one is in Sahih Bukhari. Both of them are sahih. Which route are you going to take? Because if you don't earn the position under Allah's arsh on the day of judgment, and you get shaded and live amongst the prophets and be with them until they get to Jannah, your other pathway is you get punished in a pot of fire, and you're burning all the way till Allah knows when. May Allah forgive us and may Allah protect us. Say Ameen. Now, young guys, look, open your eyes and say to yourself, look, I'm going to give up the relationship and I'm going to make a halal. And the halal way is nikah. And before I continue, I want to address the elderly community here as well. We, the parents, the guardians of these children, we need to make life easy for them, please. You know, we have also made our lives slightly difficult. Why? There's a balance between the children being too young to get married, I understand that. But there's also there's another side where the children are losing their hair on their head and they're looking for a person to get married to, and they can't find them because we became too fussy. And let me explain that to you. And I'm talking particularly to the elderly, those who've got children. I'm talking to you. Those who've got grandchildren, I'm talking to you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith, when he said, addressing the men, he said, when a potential spouse for your daughters comes and he is a good man, he's a religious person, he said, get the nikah done straight away. Otherwise, there's going to be a big fitna, a big trial, a big tribulation will start. Or kama qala alayhi salatu wasalam. The basis where we should do it is that girl or is that boy, are they religious? Are they going to be religious enough that the lives of my son or the life of my daughter is going to be good until death departs them? That's what you want to look at. Now we throw a lot of things inside there, and I don't know why. Look, if your son likes the girl or the girl likes the boy, why are you getting fussed about their height? Why you do? Now, fast food doing children. She's 5 foot. If she was 5 foot 2 inches, that would have been okay. But no, she's 5 foot. What in the world is wrong with you? It's not going to feel good for us. It's going to be not nice for us. What do you mean? If your son likes her, whether she's 5 foot or 5 foot 2 or 5 foot 4, whatever, whether she's taller than him or he's taller than her, what does that matter? You're basing it on one thing. What are people going to say? So that's all it's about. If people didn't make a fuss, you would be happy to go ahead. Now this thing about this killed us, especially our Bengali community. What are people going to say? So now, you've got a nice proposal come. It's within Silet. Both of them are within Silet. Oh, Buzra, you understand they're from that place. We don't get along with those people. My God, the girl's British, the boy's British. They don't know anything about your Balagon, Bishnat, Molibazar, Jagannath food. They don't know anything about that. They don't know. They don't have an ounce of that inside them. They go to Bangladesh once in 15 years. Once in 10 years. Even then, you know, they stay there for 4 weeks because you made them stay there. They complain about the mosquitoes. They complain about the weather. They complain about the water there. They complain about the people there. They don't like anything over there. They want to come and live over there. They are British. Please, make life easy for yourself. Please open up. Make some accommodation for these youngsters. Because some of these youngsters, they want to get married. They found someone. They've even found someone religious. And we're going to make it difficult for them because sometimes we say this. They're ready to get married at the age of 20 or 21. What do we say? For degree. You got to finish your degree. You know, we pile these things on. I'll tell you how many things we piled on. If you look about 30 years ago, if the boy had just A levels, the girl had, that time they used to call them O levels. Now we call them GCSEs. If the girl had a GCSE and the boy had A level, we said, Alhamdulillah, get them married. Nothing else was asked for. Then after another few years, okay, about 20, 25 years ago, we said, no, the guys got to have a degree and the girls got to have A levels. We said, yes, the houses, yes, we're going to get that done. So then we all said, okay, the girl has to have, come on guys, the girl has to have what? A levels. And the boy has to have what? Degree. Good, okay, fine, Nikah done. No problem, he's got a degree. Yeah, he'll get a job. Don't worry, he'll get a job. Everything's going to be fine. He's got a degree. Then what happened after that? About 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we changed it again. We said the boy now has to have A levels, he has to have a degree, and on top of that, he has to get a job. And I'm going to give him without a job. So he said, no, he's got a job. So now the girl's sitting around, she's thinking, okay, he's going to get a job now. For him to get a job at 24, 25, okay, he gets a job. So he's going to get a job and he's going to get secure. What's the girl going to do? The girl's going to go for a degree as well. She's just waiting there like a duck. Said, well, might as well go and study a little bit more. So now it became, the girl has to have a degree and the boy has to have a job. Right? After about 10 years ago, you know how many things changed again? We added another one. So no. The boy has to get he has to get his A-levels, he has to get his degree, he has to get a job, and then he has to have enough money secured in his bank for the deposit of his future house. When he's got that, or he can tell us that he's going to be able to buy a house, he's got enough to do that, then we're going to give our daughter. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Yeah, so what happened now, yeah? The guy got his degree, and then he basically got his job. Now he's going to get a deposit. Now deposit not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen overnight. Come on, tell me, guys. Yes or no, guys? Come on. No. It's going to take 5-6 years. So the guy was 24 when he finished, or 23 when he finished his degree. He got his job at 24. Give him 5 years. Now he's 29. 29. And now brother got deposit. You understand? He saved a little deposit. Yeah. Girl, what was she doing? She got a degree as well. She thought, I'm not going to sit around. I might as well go and get a job as well. Right? So she got a job as well now. She got her money. She started getting money, she started earning, she started being independent. He's 29. By 29, if he took his hat off here, he's got a, down here, yeah? Down here, you know, like the sun's come out and making certain rivers are drying up here. He's got a little patch there, dried up. You know, Gashutina. He's so dried up. Guy's lost his hair waiting. Now what happened to the girl? Guess what happened to the girl? And this is the truth, I'm telling you this. She's 21, she's pretty, she's beautiful, she's bubbly, she's ready for nikah, she wants nikah. Guys come along, no, you got degree now. No, he has got degree. No, this one does not job. No, this one has a job, but not the job that we would like. Yeah, okay? And then she finds another one come there. Please, you know, at weddings, they see the girl, they say, Harfudi, whose daughter is that? Straight away, they put a proposal. Can we have our son? Our son's ready. Your daughter's ready. Let's do it. No. We're waiting. No, she's going to be 24 before she gets married. No, she's going to get, her degree finished. We can't do this. They're like, if, but, all that. Now she got 24, 25. And then what happens is, the proposals that are coming now are fewer proposals. She got loads of proposals at 21, 22, 23. When she hits 24, 25, proposals are getting less. Why? Now she's 24. People are saying that, oh, she's a little bit older. Let's look for somebody else first. Their preferred choice goes to someone younger. Okay? By the time she gets to 26, 27, right? Even if they propose now, the other party are rejecting her. She's a beautiful girl. No. 27? 27? Now the question is, why hasn't she got married and she's still 26 or 27? Why is she still a bachelor, a person who's unmarried, and she's 26, 27? Why? Are you guys following me, yes or no? Does this happen, yes or no? Yes. Who's the problem for this? The parents. Culture, parents, grandparents, society, you all brought this on her. It's not her fault. She could have got married at 21. She could have got married at 22. She gets to 27, now, before it's like, degree shaytan, ham shaytan, we want degree, we want work, we want this, we want him to have a good job, good salary, a good yearly salary. Now, you know what happens? The next guy that comes, they look at him, they say, yes, have you got 2 eyes? Yes. Have you got 2 legs? Yes. Oh, you fit the description. Come forward, come, bismillah. Let's sit down, let's talk. When she was 21, 22, oh, we need to have 50,000 mahar, we need to have this, we need to have deposit, we need to have that. By the time she gets to 27, 29, 8,000 mahar, 10,000, 5,000, give us 5,000 mahar, give us, that's enough, a bit of gold, a bit of this, it's enough, quickly get it done. Why did you cause all that problem? And I'll tell you another problem that happens. If you get them married at a young age, they are like, have you seen when plants grow, have you seen when a tree grows, first the branches are green, then the branches become brown. Say yes or no.
Yes.
When they're green, you can bend them, you can twist them, you can put them through the trellis, you can make it any shape you want, and by the time it goes brown, it stays in that shape. Yes or no?
Yes.
When they're 21, 22, 23, they both get married together, they both agree. MashaAllah. They can blend with each other, they can shape each other, they can get along. By the time they're 29, he's 29, 30, she's 27, 28, right? They get married, they're now brown. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They're brown. He wants to change her, he can't. She's already led an independent life. You got money, well I got money as well, isn't it? Oh, you got a job, yeah? Well, I had a job for the last 5 years. Yeah, I got a job as well. What are you going to show to me? Well, oh, you got a degree? I got a degree too. Yeah? You got a British passport? I got a British passport too. Yeah? You're a person who's got rights here. I got rights too. Yeah? You want to challenge me? I challenge you. My dad only lived around the corner. Yeah? What's all of this beef? That all comes because both became independent. You guys understand in Bangla, yeah? Yes or no? Come on, guys.
Yes.
Two of them have led the independent life from 22 to 29. The age to get married was 22, 23. At that time you get them married, they have the little tips and stuff, they can blend, they can mold each other, they can change, they can adapt. It's very easy to adapt because they're young still. By the time they get 29, 30, they don't want to change. And you know what the new culture is? The new culture has become, now, they don't want to get married. They want to have independent life. I know in Hull it might not have, it hasn't happened in Hull yet, yeah, right? It started, yeah? Yeah, in London there's a lot of them. There's all these girls, 35, 36, 37. I know partly it's not their fault, partly it's their parents. Their parents never got them married. By the time they got 30, they're getting normal proposals now. 31, 32, they're really having a very hard time finding anyone. The guys that want to get married to them, they're like, okay, I'll take you. I'll take a divorce. Basically, they either might be in a situation where only people who've gone through a divorce might take them. It's really sad. It's really sad. I've had plenty of these cases in London. Now, they're 35, 36, enough money. She bought her flat. She's living on her own. She's living an independent life. What are you going to do? The guy also, I tell you another thing here, the guy also, he's led his independent life. He's had whatever, things he wanted to in life. He's fed up. When they get fed up, then they're going to make their own mind. You can't tell a 30, 31, 32-year-old what to do. They're not going to listen. They're going to say, look, I'm not. No, they come to a stage when they'll tell you, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm going to do what I want to do now. Because you guys, with all your Bangladeshi maps and your culture, and chicken biryani to na lamb biryani to, otar maza lagia, with all these differences you have, you basically just messed up my whole chance of getting married early. And now they don't want to listen to you. That's another case. So I want to tell you this, look. Can I kindly ask the elders of the community, this is a very easy one. I want to correct him because I know it's 35. It's okay, yeah? I know Maghrib time is here, but this is a very important thing I want to say to you. I've got a new thing I want to tell you guys. You're making life difficult for yourself. You know why? First is remove all these conditions. If the boy is good, Allah will give him a job. Yes or no?
Yes.
If he's ready to work, he's going to find a work. He's going to find a job. Whatever job, Allah's going to bless him. Allah's going to give them a place to stay. Right? Don't worry about that. Now, the thing I want to say to you is really important. I'm saying this up and down the country, and I'm saying this here as well. Please forward this message. The reason why we make nikah so difficult is because we put a price tag on it. The price tag we put on it is £20,000. We say £20,000 you need to get the nikah done. Who in the world told you need £20,000? Who told you need £30,000, £40,000, £50,000? You put that on your head. You're saying, whole hair for Allah. We need to get a hall, we need to have the decor, we need to have the full band, We're going to have everything. We're going to have, the full 500 people invited, 250 people invited. We're going to have this many things on the table. We're going to have, whatever you put on, 20,000 pounds. Why? I'm telling you, please, why? What will people say? Yes or no, guys? Are you following, yes or no? Yes. Because of this, people are doing this actually simple way of getting a nikah done. And I want you people to start it off. The way you started the masjid off, these young imams that are here, please, Bismillah, start it off. Have nikahs in a masjid. Simple. You only give dates after the nikah. Finish. This is the sunnah. Nikah in the masjid, qabul, dates given, everybody knows, fine. When you have your walima, have it, don't hire a wedding hall. Hire a school. Local schools will charge you a few £100 to hire it. A hall will charge you a few £1,000. Okay? If you don't want to do the school, have it in your backyard. Put a marquee up there, call people in your house, have it in your backyard. If you can't do that, in the masjid, talk to the masjid people to have the sarhan on the floor. No shame in this. Why should you feel embarrassed and shame? Put the dastar on the floor, or have the women with the marquee in your house, have the men in the masjid, dastar on the floor, everyone sits down, and just have one dish. Are people in this country so greedy they have to have a 5-dish thing on a wedding? The guy's dying with all his expenses anyway. Now, you're going to save the money, right? You're going to tell people this with izzah, with dignity. Say this. I want people to say this with fakhr, with pride. Say this to all your relatives, all your friends. I'm going to save from the £20,000. I'm going to do the nikah with only £2,000 or £3,000. The whole of this, the sahan, one dish, one biryani, one food, one small dessert done. Everyone's fed, everyone's gone. I'm going to save myself £17,000. Do you guys know what I'm going to do with the £17,000? I'm going to give it to my son or my daughter for the deposit of the house. Does that make sense, yes or no, guys? It does. Makes sense. Nah, buzaysana. Does it? I want to hear it properly. Does it make sense, yes or no? Yes. Are you guys going to do it, yes or no? Yes. You're not going to do it. I'm going to hear a serious one. Are you going to do yes or no? Yes. Look, £17,000 you're going to have in one meal. One meal, everyone eats £17,000. 250, 300 people ate all of that, whole high deco, everything, ate it, gone straight down the sewage. £17,000 can be the deposit for the house. 20, 30 years you've given, they'll take such a long time to get to where they want. You've given that to them, bismillah. If you don't want to do that, you can give a sadaqah, you can do whatever you want. Do what you like. Why do you want to jeopardize the future of your own children at the expense of a wedding hall? I don't understand that. Okay? So please guys, tell everyone you're going to eat. Like everyone's house has got food being thrown in the bins. Everyone's fridges are full right now. No one's dying for an extra chicken tikka. Alright, no one's going to die if they don't get the extra chicken tikka. You don't have to give it to them. Explain to them, look, I'm saving that money, I'm going to give it, and I'm starting the trend. And inshaAllah, if Muslims can start this trend, our future young people, look, they finished university, they've got 50,000 debt on their heads. And you blowing another wedding with another 20,000 pounds, I don't understand that. Right? Please have mercy on them, have mercy on yourself, do this, let's make it easy for them. And if they come to you at the stage of university and say, Dad, I've got a girl I want to marry, you can get them married, make it halal, as long as you know they're going to live together for the rest of their life. Meet up with the families, make it halal, they don't have to move in your house. They can sleep or be wherever they want. Later on they can get the house. Later on they can do that, don't worry. At least you make it halal. I know parents who know there's a relationship, who turn a blind eye to the relationship, yet they will carry that on because they don't want to go for the nikah. May Allah protect us, may Allah forgive us. Please choose halal for yourselves, for your children. Jazakumullah khair. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.